Are you the student that people describe as so smart but disorganized, so smart but can't focus, so smart but just never turns in anything on time, so smart but there is always a but? Or maybe nobody has said that directly to you before, but it's just the thing that you say to yourself in your head basically every single day. I'm just not an organized person. I'm just bad at studying. It's just my ADHD. This is just who I am. And it's that belief that we're talking about today. This is just who I am is not only flat out wrong, it's the one single thing standing between you and basically everything that you want, including your grades, your confidence, how other people see you, how you see you, and getting what you deserve. Stay with me because by the end of this video, I think you're going to see yourself a little differently in the best way possible. Hi, I'm Katie Azevedo of schoolhabits.com. I'm a private study skills and executive function coach, and I've spent over 20 years working with students who are told by other people or by themselves they're so smart but are just, and then fill in the blank with something less awesome. And in every single case, that story has been so wrong, and I'm going to show you why and how to change it. All right, let's get into it. So here's a belief that I think a lot of you believe to your core, whether you proudly wear it like a badge or maybe you feel shame about it and you keep it to yourself. I'm a stressed out, disorganized student. I just can't focus. I'm just bad at tests. I'm just bad at school. I just have a bad memory. It's just my ADHD. That's just how I am. That's just who I am. Maybe you've had one of those labels since you were a kid, or maybe a teacher said it to you at one time. If that's the case, I am so sorry that happened to you. Maybe your parents joke about it. Maybe you've decided, it about yourself after years of feeling like everyone else around you has their whole life together and you don't. Side note, nobody has their life together. Like, nobody. Either way, you've basically filed away this narrative about yourself as a fact, like something that you can't change, like your eye color or your height. But there is a huge problem with that. When you believe this is just who I am, you stop trying for anything more. You stop trying new systems and strategies and methods because why would you? That's just not for me. That wouldn't work for me, for somebody like me. And you're counting yourself out of the game before you ever even get on the field. And I think that is tragic. You might watch other students who seem naturally organized and naturally on top of things and naturally smart. And you think, it must be nice. Must be nice to be able to get good grades and be able to focus and be organized and be good at tests. And that comparison only strengthens that false narrative that you have about yourself. And it makes you even more unlikely to even ever consider leveling up, which you deserve to do. And if you have ADHD or learning difference, this whole thing happens at 10x, because you tell yourself, or almost certainly other people have told you that it's just how you are, full stop. There is nothing you can do about it. The chaos and the drama, which doesn't have to be chaos and drama, becomes part of your whole entire vibe. You're like, oh, that's just me. I'm just a hot mess. And you laugh about it and you try to be cool about it, but it doesn't feel funny at all right here. And so as I said, you stop trying new things because you're so convinced by the lie of I've tried stuff before and nothing works for someone like me, that trying for anything more feels impossible or even silly. And so here you are, stuck believing that your situation is permanent. And that right there is the danger that I want to talk about. Why? Because if you keep carrying this false and harmful identity around, whether you gave it to yourself or so kindly bestowed upon you, it can cost you everything. That identity is going to follow you to the next level if you even get there. So from middle school to high school to college to graduate school, it can follow you into your first job. People start to know you as the smart one who just can't get it together. And then unfortunately, I hate that it works this way. But once people decide that about you, they start treating you accordingly, basically forever, or until you really, really, really prove them wrong. That means that they're lowering their expectations of you. They're giving you less responsibility, which is not as good as you think that sounds. And they start trusting you less. And then the whole time this is happening, you're treating yourself the exact same way too. You're missing opportunities because you never gave yourself a real shot at being someone else, because you couldn't envision a world in which you could be someone else. The version of you that's chill and capable and just handling things never gets a chance because you never built the conditions for her or him to exist, and you never had the faith in yourself that that was even possible. And eventually you stop saying things like, I'm just struggling right now, but I'll figure it out. That story becomes more like, well, this is just my life, so be it. And that's the saddest part of all of this. Sure, the lower grades and the lower GPA and the fewer opportunities that come as a result of believing this about yourself are not awesome at all. But the saddest part, and that's my default emotion, the saddest part is that you're giving up on the idea that you could ever be anything different, and you deserve a new story. Now, I don't intend for this video to be doom and gloom. It's actually the total opposite of that, but I started the conversation this way so that you know that I see you and I know what you're feeling. And I have worked with thousands of students who have told themselves or been told this story for so long, but they got out of it because the organized, confident, I've got this version of you already exists. Do you hear me? Who you want yourself to be, who you know you are, already exists, but you've been under-resourced and you haven't been taught how to bring that version to the surface. Listen, you do not need to become another person. Please don't ever do that. But you do need to do something different in order for the story to change. The action comes first. Like, do something different so you feel something different, so you get different results, so that the new story of the real you that's already there gets a fighting chance. And the thing that you need to do differently is like not even that bananas. Like, here it is. Here's the whole thing. It's to start using systems and strategies and methods that let the real you finally show up and take over. And by the way, this is the exact reason I built School Habits University. I built it because I got so tired, again, and sad, default feeling, of watching smart people get told that that's just who they are, when in reality, nobody ever taught them what to do instead of the thing that they were doing. But first, this is not just about grades, and I don't want you to think of it that way. It's more of a status upgrade, and then the grades and the GPA just follow. Because it's not just a GPA thing. And again, yes, the systems I'm talking about will directly improve your GPA, but that's just like the cool end result of it all. The status upgrade. That's what this is. It's about who you are, about how people see you, about how you see you. And I can't think of any better upgrade you could ever give yourself than that. Like, think this through with me. Humor me, okay? This is like possible. People stop saying like, oh, you're so smart, but. Like, there is no but anymore. That part of the story, it's gone. It's deleted. It doesn't exist. Your friends and family are noticing something different about you, even if they don't come out and say it directly, like maybe because they can't put their finger on it, they can't articulate it, but something about the way you're carrying yourself is just different. You're more in control of things. You're more you than you've ever been. You have this subtle confidence now that comes from knowing that like you can handle what's in front of you and believing that you can because you have the evidence to prove it. People start asking you for advice. You're like, hey, how do you keep track of everything? Like, you got an A on that. Like, how did you do that? Like, how did you study? And you're like, me? Feels nice. Your parents are bragging about you for once. Feels nice. So there's a psychologist, Carol Dweck, who spent her entire career studying this stuff. And she said something that I think sums up kind of like the backbone of this video, which is this: becoming is better than being. One more time. Becoming is better than being. You don't have to already be an organized person. You don't have to already be organized at school, a time management expert, be a good note taker already. You just have to be willing to become that. That's my entire point here. Are you willing to become that? Are you at the point where you're so sick of the you're so smart, but, and you just want to say like, hold my apple juice. I can't say what I actually wanted to say there. G-rated. So I know I used the term upgrade a few minutes ago. I'm going to run with that for a sec because I think it works for the concept that I'm trying to like lay out here. So bear with me. Think of yourself like a powerful piece of hardware. It's got massive potential, but right now it's running on like old and buggy software. And that's why it freezes and glitches and lags and crashes and just basically doesn't work. Systems and skills are the update that you need. You're already great. Your hardware is already great. No new hardware needed, but you need a new software update. You know what I mean? And once you install that update, you start running smoothly and quickly and without lags or drama or old bugs and old stories. That's you. After you install the right systems, after the update working the way that you are supposed to work this whole time. I've been coaching for over 20 years, and I'll be honest with you, I still have systems that keep me from turning into a hot mess when life gets busy, because like that hot mess version of me still definitely exists too. So systems aren't just a student thing. They're like a being a functional human being thing. And the only difference between someone who seems naturally on top of it all and someone who doesn't is usually just whether or not they've ever learned the skills and the systems and the strategies needed to function at that level. Like, that's kind of it. And this isn't something I believe because it sounds nice or catchy or anything like that. Carol Dweck's research on what's called growth mindset versus fixed mindset, you might have heard that before, revealed something critical that's used across like mindset trainings at like multi-billion-dollar companies today. Students who believe their abilities could grow and change always outperform students who believe their abilities are fixed, even when both groups start at the exact same level. Believing this is just who I am doesn't just feel bad day after day after day. It actually changes your results, it changes where you end up, and it changes your story, and not in a good way. The students who say, this is just who I am, like I've always been like this, there's nothing I can do, are the ones who always just stay exactly like that. So they're proving themselves right. Saying I can't pass tests leads you to not being able to pass tests. Saying I'm bad at taking notes leads you to being bad at taking notes. Saying I can't focus leads you to not being able to focus because that limited mindset is so ingrained that you don't even try. But The ones who say, okay, maybe I just haven't found the right systems yet. I don't have that particular academic skill yet, are the ones who upgrade. The ones who say, I just haven't found the right study method for me yet, are the ones who are open to learning new study techniques. The one who say, I haven't learned a good note-taking system for me yet, are the ones who are open to learning a new note-taking method. And I think you already know this is true in other contexts, but you just haven't applied it to school yet because school is like, well, it's school. But think about if someone starts going to the gym and getting in shape. Nobody says, oh, well, I guess they were, secretly a super athletic person this whole time and now their true self is showing. Like, no, like we don't think like that. Like we get how it works. They started training, so now they're becoming someone who works out. They are the same person, but they're taking different actions now. So they get different results. So now they have a different story, a different identity. They don't just show up one day and start flinging random, heavyweights around hoping to get strong. That's how they're going to get hurt. That's how to not get strong. They follow a program and someone shows them the right form and says, do this many reps and make this adjustment and do this and that and the other thing. The program is the system that I'm talking about, the system that someone gave them. The system that someone gave them is what turns I'm just not an athletic person into I'm a person who goes to the gym and works out now. Okay, now I'm going to bring that back to school. There is a connection here, I promise. I'm just bad at tests is the same exact kind of belief as I'm just not an athletic person. It's not true. You've just never been taught the actual form or told the reps or taught how to adjust. You've never had a legitimate study system that moves information from outside of your head into it. I'm just a bad note taker is the same thing. Nobody ever taught you a note-taking system that works. So you've been, writing down random things or writing down nothing or writing down too much and then blaming yourself when winging it doesn't work. You're not a bad note taker genetically. You're just a smart person who hasn't been taught a note-taking system that's not annoying to you. That's a skill that you just don't have yet, but you can literally just learn it. And then you become a person who takes good notes. I can't focus. I'm so disorganized. Like I don't know how to manage my time. I'm always running out of time. Same thing. Again, school doesn't teach you these skills. How do I know? I used to be a school teacher. I used to teach high school. I know what it's like on the inside of the system. So you're just expected to know what these skills are and how to make them happen. And when you don't, the whole entire world tells you that you're like bad at XYZ. You're not. You just haven't been taught the system and the methods and the strategies and the skill. So you've never had a real opportunity to prove to yourself that you can do it, which is why you believe you can't. And that story gets so old. It is so time for a new story. And the way that I do that is to change something about the way that you're operating. And that will change the story that you tell yourself. That'll change your results. That changes what you can achieve. If you're ready to build the systems that let the real version of you step up, the one who is capable and trustworthy and handling it, proving everybody wrong. That's exactly what we do inside School Habits University. We go through all 6 core skills: time management, task management, note-taking, annotating, study skills, and organization, including my FOMSO study method and a roadmap built just for ADHD brains. It comes with a full year of live coaching, so you're never figuring it out alone. And if you do the work and it doesn't help, you're covered by my 5-day money-back guarantee. The link to learn more and enroll in School Habits University is below. If you're sick of the same old story, do something different. If you want an upgrade, this is exactly how to do it. As always, I appreciate you and thank you so much for watching.